Clone Trooper Comet was a clone who served in the 104th Battalion, otherwise known as the Wolfpack, under Jedi General Plo Koon and Commander Wolf. He made his first debut in Season 2, Episode 21 of the Clone Wars. However, new continuity tells us that Comet was a part of the Wolfpack before his debut in the Clone Wars, with him depicted with maroon Phase 1 clone armor. With that being said, Comet was not present at the Battle of Abrigado, where most of his battalion was murdered. Although we don't see much of Comet in the Clone Wars, we do know that he was a well-valued soldier serving under Plo Koon, and he only had his Phase 2 armor for one episode of the Clone Wars. With all that being said, today's video is going to be focused on the Clone Trooper Comet. And if I'm being honest, I have no clue why I picked Comet, I just really like his design. So let's get to it. So first we start with our print that is being printed with PLA on the CR10. One of our first steps in making the helmet is actually finishing up the priming process, which I've already done for you because this actually took a couple weeks on account of I had to wait for the primer to arrive. And if you look closely right there, there is some Bondo that I had to sand. Alright, so here I am just giving the helmet a full coat of white because, as we all know, every clone trooper starts with white. And eventually I'll move on to a different color. Alright, and after I painted this thing entirely in white, and yes, there are definitely a couple flaws that make this thing kind of bad, but in the end, I'm fine with it. Besides, this is my personal helmet. Anywho, I could easily just leave it like this and be glad about it and put it in my collection, or I could put a design on it. Now, I know I've already said this a couple times, but when I started this project, I didn't know that there were these little markings on the back of the helmet, so I'm adding those right now, and I really hope that I don't screw up right now. The taping's a little crude, but other than that, it's going to take a little more work around here. I noticed that these things look a little off. This line looks a little more out than this one, so I gotta finish that first. But other than that, I'm almost done mapping out where I'm going to cut. And those of you who don't know Comet that well, turns out there is a design in the back of his helmet. It's hard to see it since he's only shown his helmet in one episode, so that's what I'm working with here. Alright, and after I removed all of the tape that I have to remove, here is what we're left with, and boy, it actually came out alright. Alright, so here I am removing the tape, and this is me just pulling off the tape after an hour when I painted this thing. So if there's any flaws with the helmet, just know that I removed the tape only an hour after I was done, and I really should have waited till the next day, but I just couldn't help it. And I kinda like the flaws. It gives it some personality, if you will. These are the red markings for the helmet. We need a visor. Then once we have our visor, all we really have to do now is just remove the tape that's covering the visor. And when we do that, we're going to be able to see just how good it can be. There's no bubble in between, so that's very nice. And there is a part right here that I don't like that much, but that's not that noticeable, so it won't be a problem. Alright, now one of the most important parts about a clone helmet is the visor. That lets us be able to look through the helmet, offers us some eye protection, and not let people see who we are for embarrassing moments. Kinda like this channel, but I don't know. Alright, so here I am wearing the helmet and showing off its features, and I am very glad with how it turned out. I don't know why I'm bowing, but honestly, okay, when I bowed, the helmet got over my eyes, so I had to do that, but honestly, I'm glad with how the helmet came out. With all that being said, I will have to be very honest with this one. Comet's helmet was only in one episode of the Clone Wars, and that was Escape from Cadavo. And it is very hard to find photos for him, and I didn't even know there was a design on the back of his helmet. So that was hard to figure out. And this may surprise you, but some of the design was based off of a Lego that I bought on eBay. But overall, I am glad with how it turned out. Alright, now I know I already showed off the helmet, but here I am just giving you guys a good look at the helmet, and I'm going to be pointing out some of the flaws that are on my helmet, like, I don't know if you could see at the bottom of my helmet, but there's a strip missing from it, and that's because I pulled on too hard to something that was sticking out on the helmet, and that ripped it up. And there are some flaws with the paint job, but that's because I got a little impatient and pulled the tape off too soon. Almost a month now. I started printing on, I think, June 18th, to be honest, and that was a month ago. But the reason I took a while was because I was practicing how to use Bondo, spot putty, and filler primer. Well, I wasn't practicing filler primer, I was waiting for it to arrive. And when it finally did, I started work again. But taping on this helmet took 4 hours. Drawing the design, taping it, and cutting it out took 4 hours. So twice as long as Jesse's helmet, because I think I agree with GA. The Wolfpack has some of the most intricate designs I've ever worked on. With all that being said, you don't have to be a perfectionist in order to do this. I know for a fact this helmet has dozens of flaws that I found when finishing it, and I actually hate red spray paint now, but other than that, I have no problem with it. Anywho, thanks for watching the video. Please like, share, and subscribe. I really do appreciate the things that you guys have done for this channel. We are at 57 subs right now, and I honestly can't believe that. So thank y'all for all the help. Have a good one.